All right, what is up, guys? This is gonna be the second video going over OTE, right? Yeah, that's what it is. OTE, if you guys don't know, if you're new to this video, if you're just coming across my channel, basically what I started doing for my Discord and my community is I want people to reach out to me about questions they have about confluences, model, even anything about trading, really, like risk management, psychology, how I go about prop firms. Like, it can be anything, like literally just ask, right? And I make a YouTube video on it for everybody, for the Discord, for you guys if you're in here. So yeah, the next person we got is Jaden. He asked mostly about OTE. So I told him we're gonna make a video going into depth on OTE. So let's do it. So the first thing you guys must understand is OTE is just a tool. This is not a model. This is nothing to purely take entries based off of. You have to align it with your model, like whatever you trade. I align this with my higher time frame legs. I use OTE every single day. It is a staple in my model. It's a very strong tool, not a model. It's a strong tool, right? So it's if you go over here, it is the Fibonacci retracement, the famous word. So first thing you must know is my settings, obviously, 0, 1, 0.62, 0.79, 0.665. Like, just pause the video and just get it. One thing I will go over is our OTE range is from 0.62 to 0.79. So this is our OTE. Now, when you hear about OTE pocket, right, the pocket of OTE, it's usually 99% of the time, if you watch any other OTE video, it's going to be 0.705. It's the midpoint. It's 50% of our OTE, right? However, I've been using this for over a year now, 0.665, very, very consistent, and I love it, and it aligns with my levels more consistently than 0.705. So I take this a lot of the time. That's the TM pocket, right? So that is your OTE. 0 and 1 are for the high and the low of which I forgot to go over. Thought I wrote it down somewhere. Guess I didn't. I'll go over that in a second. But 0 and 1 for the high and the low of wherever you're going to go over, which I'll show right now. And then 0.5 is equilibrium. So we'll go over that as well. That is just something you must know is equilibrium. And then 0.62 to 0.79 is our whole OTE range right here. Okay. Now that you have an understanding of what it is, of the settings, just the tool, right? The name of it. What do you use OTE for, right? There's 3 things that I use this for, and we're gonna go over. I'm gonna show an example of each one. So first thing is legs. The second thing is ranges, and the third is sessions. I use OTE purely for these 3 things: legs, ranges, and sessions. Write this down and find an example for yourself. If you're really trying to learn, don't just watch the video and take notes. Actually implement it. Forward test it, back test it, whatever. Paper trade it, right? But we will start with legs. So I actually found an example that I took live. I took this trade live with the whole Discord. And this was one of the tools that I used. So before I even show the example, there's one more thing I forgot. I keep forgetting things. Is I only use OTE on the 15-minute and higher. My levels, again, this is not a model, it's a tool. So base it with your model, or just implement it and collect data to see if it even works with your model. I don't know what you're trading, so keep that in your brain. But my model is based off of higher time frame continuations, lower time frame reversals. So I line it up with daily, 4-hour, hourlies, and 15-minute levels. So I only use the 15-minute to the daily with OTE. My prime time frames that I like to use OTE with is the hourly and the 4-hour. This example is going to be on the 4-hour. So let's get into it. So again, we're starting with legs. First thing is we took sell side. We have a level here. We're expecting bullish momentum, and we have a V-shaped recovery, and we're following bullish structure, right? So I'm bullish. Know your DOLs, this and that, right? So the first thing we're identifying is the low, or we'll identify the high first because it's easier to understand with legs. So you can see right here on the 4-hour, this is our 7 a.m. So this is during when New York opens. It opens at 6:30. I'm not an idiot, but you know what I'm saying, the 4-hour. So you can see that the high of this current leg is there, right? Now, if you were to use OTE for looking at a leg, you consider this the leg, right? No. how I use OTE with higher time frame legs is I follow structure, basic ICT structure, fair value gaps and order blocks. Simple. We're just using OTE as a tool to find a, for me, higher time frame premium or discount for a continuation to get the best entry possible, right? That's why it's called OTE, optimal trade entry, and taking a trade, right? So usually you'd be like, okay, this is the low, this is the high, that's our OTE. I'm not gonna long anything in a higher time frame premium because I don't want to long in a premium. I want to be in a discount, but you're incorrect. High, if we're following structure, what did we create here? What is this candle now? It's an order block. We closed above the high. So we now, how I will look at this is I will identify the low of our structure to be that order block low. This is the leg that I'm basing OTE off of. Because if I want to follow structure, I'm going to base it off of that. I'm going to base the bullish leg that we followed structure with. If we, we're inside of a large, gap, imbalance, fair value gap, whatever you want to call it, and we're trading into it, if we're going to deny here, we're going to continue to be bearish. But we have bullish momentum, V-shaped recovery, respecting bullish PD rays, ending up invalidating bearish, and we're following bullish structure. So that's how I'm going to use it for a leg. So I'll grab the low. If I'm looking for longs, the low, hold control on the low to find the exact point, and I'll go to the high that we have before New York, because this is the low to the high of the leg. Now, what do you see? Is we hit 0.62 actually perfectly, right? That is our OTE. Now this is the thing about OTE is if you trade ICT, which I know a lot of people do, this is going to be a very, very helpful tool because it's going to help you eliminate certain PD arrays like fair value gaps or order blocks, and know which ones to trade off of. It's that simple, right? If I'm looking at this 4-hour leg going into New York, we have overnight highs resting as well, and like I know my DOLs or whatever, and I have a set bias which is bullish. I know that I'm not going to long anything with this leg in a premium. Just doesn't make sense to me. So this 4-hour gap, I'm not going to long in because it's above equilibrium, 0.5, right? We are still in a premium. We're not in a discount. We don't have to hit OTE for me to long. But if we get under equilibrium, which what can we identify here is this lower 4-hour, boom, we can now have a long. What else can we use? Consequent encroachment of PD arrays, like CE of this 4-hour. Nice, right? And no, I don't limit order. We're just going to go to 15-minute. I'm not trying to scroll forever. I don't limit order OTE like with examples like this, even though, I would have, did I identify the high? I would have like bottom ticked, but if it's being respected, I would just find a continuation off of it. So you can see how that looks on the hourly as well. All right. Structure, boom, bada beam, bada boom. But yeah, that is the first example of a leg. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Maybe I'm just bad at teaching. Second example, I can show a short example. How many? No, we're at 8-9 minutes. I'm trying to keep these short. All right. Second example, we did legs. Now we will do sessions. My favorites. Okay, so first thing, we're gonna go for gold. We're gonna go to gold for this. I love gold during Asia, but I also love OTE with gold. If you trade gold, I promise you OTE is going to be a game changer. I promise, bro. I promise. So we'll do the hourly or 15. Let's make it hard. Let's do a 15-minute. Let's find a hard example. So, we're doing sessions. Let's just go to a random time. Let's find Asia open because I only trade Asia for gold most of the time. Unless we have good volume. So, okay, we'll go to this. Tuesday. Cool. So, we'll go to 3 p.m., which is our open, our true day open. 3 p.m. is right here. So, here is our true day open. And I don't trade gold until 5, which is right here. Nice. Cool. So, 5. And now we have 5 p.m. Boom. All right. Now we have low here. And now we have high. Asia opened here. This was our Asia high, current Asia high, and this was our current Asia low. So how would I use OTE? The high to the low of our session. Simple, simplistic, right? That's how I use it with sessions. Did it play out? No. That's why I'm saying it's not just a model. It's not a model, it's a tool. But that's an example of a session. You can find another one. Let's go to a random day. Let's go over here. Let's do New York. Let's do New York. Fuck it. Okay. So 6:30 right here. Boom, boom, boom. So we'll mark out our New York Open. Boom, boom, boom. Now you can see this is the high of New York. And if we want to base it, like, depending what time we're trading it, obviously, this is the low of New York. So now we have the high to low of New York. If we're looking for shorts in a continuation, that is how we would look at a session OTE range, right? Equilibrium, we're not shorting anything until equilibrium, and then we'll use OTE if we have a level there to align it. Very simple stuff. Let's show a New York example as well. Let's do it. We'll stay on the 15-minute for sure, and we'll go. Let's do New York right here. Let's do it. Okay, so 6:30 right here. This is New York Open. And we'll identify the high of our session, and we'll identify the low of our session. So OTE, high to low, now we have our session range for NQ, our New York session range. You can see 0.665, delivered 37 points. You can see, multiple reactions here, right? None of this matters without, your model, knowing your draws and liquidity and stuff like that, right? I just wanted to show you how I use it. It's the basics of this YouTube video. 12 minutes in. Also, this is a very good example of a leg when you're looking for rebalances, for like continuations. So we can identify the high of this leg, take it to the low, and we can base, a continuation off of that. That is a very strong way to use OTE as well. So there's that. Cool. Next thing, ranges. This is a big one that's going to help you a lot in December, right? It's going to help you a ton. So if we look at the 4-hour right now, it's December 5th, right? You can see it looks like shit. It is shit PA. It's bad PA. Low volume, no institutions really, big orders, right? Let's try this. Oh, that's actually really good. Eric just gave me one of these. It's a protein shake, but yeah. Anyways, ranges, right? If we're in a higher time frame range, like you'll see this a lot on gold, a lot. That's why I love OTE. Like if we look at like this chop, right? How are you gonna eliminate trading in this, and how are you gonna trade it if so? Identify the high, the low to the high of the range, and now you're not even longing until we're in under equilibrium in a premium, vice versa with a range. We can go to the low, to the high, and now we know that we're only going to short above equilibrium. You can see 0.79. I'm telling you guys, please, please, please listen to me. 0.79 on gold is it's amazing. It's so good. It's so beautiful, right? Like I can show you, like we don't have to look at this whole hourly range. If we're looking for a continuation on shorts here, what do we identify for following structure? High, low. For bearish, and we're looking for a continuation, which you already see, right? Look, let's follow structure. Like we can use the OTE on everything. Boom. This is an order block now. We're following structure. We tested this hourly gap. We obviously respected it. Now this is an order block. High to this low. Look at OTE. Oh wait, well I guess we made a new low until we hit that, but look at OTE. Look at this. Beautiful. Align it with PD rays. We're not going to continue. We're not going to short anything until we're in a premium. Like, yeah, you could be like forcing a short throughout this chop and get stopped or make a little bit of money off this dump here. But it's like if you want to find a quality trade and follow structure, this is how you're going to do it. Boom. Even if you miss this trade, this is how I'd go about it. Hourly, we identify this high and low, which came off of, PD rays, following structure. That gives you a bearish, bias. What can we see here? We have 2 hourly gaps. Just looking at the hourly. I'm not gonna like go over multiple time frames. Just keep the basics, right? We can mark out our OTE. And is this first hourly gap, look, it looks like it was gonna deliver. It didn't. Is this hourly gap in equal, like, is it in a premium for shorts? No, it's not. So you have a higher hourly. You also have an order block, right? It's like now you have, you know, structure. We're gonna get, this is gonna be the best entry, right? I can literally find like an exact setup here. I already know it's probably based off the 4 hour. Yeah, it was 4 hour. It was probably based off of a find a 15-minute rejection block that it probably delivered off of, or a gap. Just following structure. Yeah, beautiful. Look, higher 15-minute, right? What do we have here? An order block. Just basic structure, man. So yeah, we're respecting PD arrays. We're following bearish structure. That is how to use OTE. It's as simple as that. It's literally as simple as that. People make it seem very confusing, but it's not. And you can see on gold, delivered 75 points, which is a lot of points on gold. And yeah, that's another example of how I use it. It's continuations on the higher time frame. So don't be looking at 1 to 5 minute legs of OTE, especially on gold. Don't like be looking at like, actually gold still isn't that bad with like 1 minute legs, but like don't look at this and be like, you know, setting like a limit order here or something like that. Like don't use it on the lower time frame. It doesn't matter. Just stick to your higher time frame, like I say with everything, and you will find consistency with it. And you can, again, like going back into ranges, right? I didn't go much into that. If we want to identify, we can even keep it like, this is obviously the lower range for looking at like the 15-minute here. Shit. We can identify this, right? So first, what I would do is I'd be like, okay, this is our high, right? So this is the range, this is the leg I'd be looking at. But once we take that high, I'd be like, okay, now this is our range, right? That's our high of our range now. So now we have OTE. Boom, 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 boom. Like if we want to look at a wide area. But again, that is just the basics. Something like I really, really like is like using it for continuations. So like if you have, base it off your level or your model, right? But like this is a really strong leg for a continuation. Doesn't look like we hit it, but like anyways, there's an example, right? Equilibrium. Don't long until we're at least in a discount. You can use it multiple ways, but that is just about everything, I believe. 15-minute on NQ as well. It's a beautiful tool. It's a beautiful tool. Like if you're bearish here, you can use it on the 15-minute as well. Again, we created an order block. We have a gap. This is going to be the best entry possible, and 120 points. Like OTE is a very strong tool. So that's how I use it. It's not a model, it's a tool. Ranges, legs, and sessions. And yeah, that's how I use it. That's OTE.